You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side.
God bless America. Welcome to The Ranch, everybody, the podcast that explores the people and happenings of Dry Creek Ranch, Eagle, and the greater Boise area. Quick word to the wise, if you are looking to eat a Thanksgiving turkey, I would recommend hitting up Porterhouse Meat Market. They do have Mary's Chicken Company turkeys for $4.99 a pound. They don't have organic options, which is fine. They do have oven-ready options, and those cost a little bit more depending on what you want. But again, Porterhouse Meat Market, it's right in the middle of downtown. You can find it for sure. Now, there is something afoot in downtown Eagle. So the parking lot right next to Rembrandt's, right over near Bodacious Pig and the bar area, there's a big dirt parking lot there. There is a a company that's applying to build a building in that downtown area. This is the thing. They're seeking an exemption to build this building because it's going to be very big. Now, standard code right now allows you to build up to about 35 feet, and that's generally about two-story buildings. This building company, the corporation that wants to build this building rather, is applying for an exemption to build up to, I believe, 54 feet. So big. We're talking like 4 stories. It's going to be closer to the size of that Pet IQ building down on State. It's a huge, huge building. Now, here's the thing. They're seeking an exemption for the height, and not a small exemption. So a lot of times exemptions when you're dealing with building code are designed to be like, okay, look, I know building code's 35 feet, but can I get an exemption for 40 feet because I have some kind of like refrigeration unit that needs to be housed on top of the roof, but like the spirit of the project is in line with the code. That's what the exemptions are usually for. This corporation and group is seeking an exemption that increases the size of the building by something like 60%. And it's not just some small thing. They're also seeking to do a 3 to 4 story building. They will have condominiums, so these aren't apartments. They will have condominiums on several of the stories, which will, of course, alleviate some of the burden on the housing market. However, that entire, well, not the entire, but a huge chunk of that parking lot will be gone. And I don't know if you've gone down to that area in lunchtime in the afternoon, which is lovely, by the way. If you go down to, Bodacious or you grab Rembrandt's, I'm a big fan of both of those. But it's going to completely destroy a big chunk of the parking that a lot of us rely on when we're planning to go downtown and utilize those businesses. And as you know, there is no street parking, right? I mean, the parking downtown is already kind of a problem. And again, the design of the building here, look, I'll put up a picture of the building right here. Okay, this is what it looks like. Now, I'm not against beautiful buildings. And again, I moved from Northern California almost a year ago. This is very akin to buildings you might see in the downtown Walnut Creek area. Those are fine looking buildings, but they're fine looking buildings in downtown Walnut Creek, California. This does not suit the look, or at least match the look that we're going for in the downtown Eagle area. And again, if the code wanted these large 4 and 5 story buildings to be down there, that's what the code would be. But the city council is examining this, and there is a meeting on, November 9th. So again, November 9th, 5:30, and that's at the Eagle City Hall, and that's 660 East Civic Lane. So you can check it out. Again, at 5:30, they will be considering this. Now, in submitting this, you can go online, by the way. Everything I have is from the Eagle City website, okay? So you go City of Eagle website, and then you go agendas and videos, and then hit City Council special meeting. Once you hit the agenda button, you do have to scroll down to unfinished business, and then it's right there, right? So you're looking at the city exemption 4-story building. Again, if you like this idea, fine, go down to the City Council and tell them that you like it and you're a resident and you think this is a great idea. That's totally fine. If you don't like this idea, go down and tell them, because the worst thing you can do is just be apathetic. It is clear, though, when they submit this, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of this information page, and it gives you details, gives you pictures, there are, I think, 3 people that did email in saying that they absolutely were opposed to this building. Because the bottom line is, it just doesn't match the spirit of downtown Eagle, right? Like if you're going to Rembrandt's, you don't want to be next to some 4-story monstrosity. Same thing if you're just driving around looking for parking to go, grab a cookie at the cookie shop downtown, or grab a drink with your friends, or like you're going to Rib Shack. Like, could you imagine being at Rib Shack and then seeing this massive 4-story building right down the street? It just doesn't fit, in my opinion. But again, I'm not the only resident here. So if you do feel like this is something you want, great, go tell them. If you don't want this 4-story building, if you don't want to set the precedence, which is the real risk we run here, because it's not a single building, right? Once we allow an exemption for a 54-foot building instead of having like a 35-foot max ceiling, we have to start considering why we wouldn't grant exemptions to other people, to other builders, to other developers along the way. And these are real problems that you're going to run into, that we're all going to run into, which is like, look, we started going higher density, we offered an exemption here, and now we don't have a real reason to not offer the same exemption for this other guy, right? I mean, say everybody wants to come in and build 3- and 4-story buildings in the middle of downtown. You know, squash Bodacious Pig, take over the bar, like everything. It completely changes the feel of that downtown area. This is a fantastic place to live. I mean, best I've ever been to. That's why me and my family live here. I love Dry Creek Ranch. I love Eagle. I love Boise. I love the whole thing. And even if you go into the other areas of Eagle, like across the street from Porterhouse Deli, they have, you know, large buildings there. That's what that building is for, right? Like that's the area we should be putting that thing. We shouldn't be putting it right next to Rembrandt's. It's wholly out of place, in my opinion. But again, either way, let's participate in good faith. And, you know, if somebody feels, hey, Matt, you really missed the mark, this is a really, really good idea for some reason, hit me up. I'd love to talk to you. Right? Like, I think we need to have good, honest, good faith discussion and discourse, and that's going to allow us to come up with the best design, not just for our community from the building standpoint, but from a neighborly and community perspective, right? Like we need to talk to each other and we might disagree on things, but let's talk about it. So again, no matter what, there is a planning commission that will decide whether or not to actually do this. 5:30 on November 9th. That's Wednesday. It's Monday right now. I'm going to try to get this out today so everybody knows about it, but check it out. If you're in favor, great. If you're not in favor, at the very least, write the city council an email. I will provide the email for that in the description of this video, or you can go on in, which is great as well. Anyway, please do check it out. And again, I will provide links for everything. I hope this is helpful. And man, thanks for listening. Quick shout out to our sponsor, C² Social. C² Social is the leading expert in social media marketing and creative marketing. They have fantastic platforms. I have been a client of theirs for some time. I cannot recommend them highly enough. C² Social for all of your social media and creative marketing needs.
Can you still recall